Are you looking for one of the fastest growing, most essential, and stable healthcare careers for 2026? A career that has a huge impact on patient safety, but is also one of the best healthcare careers without a degree? Well, you are in exactly the right place, because today we're building the blueprint for your future in sterile processing.
So here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off by talking about who these unseen heroes of healthcare really are. Then, we'll walk you through a day in the life. After that, we'll get into the exciting stuff, the career promise for 2026, we'll tackle the biggest challenge new grads face, and then we'll wrap out your exact path to success.
All right, first up, who are these unseen heroes? I'm telling you, they are the absolute backbone of every single safe surgery. I mean, every successful operation depends on the critical work they do before a surgeon even thinks about scrubbing in.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. Before a surgeon can even walk into the operating room, who makes sure that every single tool is perfectly clean, functioning, and completely safe to use? It's a job most people never even know exists, but without it, modern surgery would literally grind to a halt.
To put it simply, a sterile processing technician is the final line of defense against infection in a hospital. They are the experts, the gatekeepers, who handle every single instrument, from that initial messy decontamination all the way through the final surgical instrument sterilization. They ensure everything is 100% safe for the next patient.
Okay, so what does a typical shift actually look like for a sterile processing tech? Let's pull back the curtain and follow the journey of a surgical instrument, all the way from the decon room and back to the OR.
You know, the entire workflow can be broken down into these 4 crucial stages. It all starts in decontamination, where all the used instruments get meticulously cleaned. Then they head over to assembly, or what we call prep and pack, where they get inspected and organized into trays. Next up is sterilization, and finally, they're moved into sterile storage, ready and waiting for the next surgery.
And this right here captures the absolute heart of the job. During that assembly phase, every single instrument is inspected with intense focus. Technicians are looking for the tiniest cracks, the smallest speck of debris, because one little issue here could cause a massive problem in the operating room. That's the level of detail we're talking about.
Okay, let's get into the good stuff. Let's talk numbers. Why is this one of the absolute top healthcare support careers for 2026? Let's dive into the job outlook for sterile processing.
Right out of the gate, as a new technician, you're looking at a really competitive starting salary. Industry data shows a lot of new techs are starting right around $50,000 a year. And get this, the demand for medical equipment preparers is set to grow about 8% nationally, so you're stepping into a super stable field.
But hold on, because this is where it gets really exciting. The SPD career growth potential is incredible. This is not just some entry-level job you get stuck in. With some experience, getting your CRCST certification, and moving up into roles like a lead tech, a department manager, or even a high-paying travel tech, your income can soar well into the 6 figures. This is a real career with a real future. And folks, here is the absolute game changer. You don't have to spend years and years in college racking up tons of student debt. So many great training programs can get you certified and totally job ready in as little as 4 to 6 months. That's what makes this one of the most accessible and best healthcare careers without a degree. So let's just pull it all together for a second. What are the top reasons to choose a sterile processing career? You've got steady job demand pretty much everywhere. You get to do truly meaningful work that has a direct impact on keeping patients safe, and you can do all of this with amazing career growth potential without needing a 4-year degree. It's a huge win.
All right, let's get real for a minute and talk about a challenge that, honestly, a lot of new graduates run into. It's a super common hurdle, but the most important thing to know is that you can absolutely get over it.
Has this thought ever crossed your mind? If it has, I want you to listen closely. You are not alone. This is one of the biggest frustrations for students. They do everything they're supposed to, they finish the program, they pass the exam, but then they struggle to land that first entry-level sterile processing job. It can be so discouraging, but please do not lose hope.
I want you to really let this sink in. Success isn't the end of the road, and failure definitely isn't a dead end. What truly matters is having the courage to keep going. Your journey might take a little extra persistence, but trust me, that persistence is exactly what's going to open the door to the opportunity you've been working for.
So let's break down why this happens. You've got candidate A, who did everything by the book and just applied online. But then you have candidate B, who did something absolutely critical. They built relationships. They treated their externship like a months-long job interview. They stayed connected, they asked smart questions, they got to know the team. This industry, you guys, it runs on trust. and hospitals are way more likely to hire someone they know and trust than just a random name on a resume.
So, the big question is, how do you become Candidate B? What are the actual steps you can take, starting today, to lock in your first sterile processing job and really set yourself up for success in 2026?
The key, the absolute secret, is to be proactive. So here's your action plan. Stay in touch with your externship site. Build real, genuine relationships with the team there. Hop on LinkedIn and connect with managers and techs at hospitals near you. Just remember this. Your first job offer is probably going to come from a connection you made, not from a generic online application you filled out. I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Is your next connection your first opportunity? The sterile processing field is growing, and it's looking for dedicated, detail-oriented people just like you. Your career is right there for the taking. If you got any value out of this explainer, do me a favor and smash that like button. Subscribe for more tips and motivation, and let me know in the comments what your biggest question about sterile processing is right now. Let's build this community together. Now go out there and start connecting.